river, 15 by road from town. He couldn't fathom a reason for all these children to be here. Small beads of sweat broke out on his forehead. Had something happened at the mill? Had something happened to Howard? His steps quickened and were almost to the stairs of the porch when two young boys ran from the south side of the house. Noise of their chase swirled in the still air and stalled his feet. They didn't notice him. One had a large stick held over his head as he chased the other. The first one ran past and a scream of terror tore from his small mouth. John reached out and in mid-air snatched the tree branch from the second one a moment before it came down on the screamer's head. "Hey!" the second one exclaimed. "That's, The lad's words stopped by the time his eyes had taken in all of John's 6.5 feet height. Big John looked down at the child who just about came up to his knees. The boy had a plastering of red hair sticking out in all directions. Wide green eyes gazed upward. Brown dots covered a round face, and a mouth, missing 2 front teeth, gaped open. John grasped the stick with both hands and snapped it in two. With a flip of his wrist, he snapped the shorter pieces in two, and then repeated his action one last time. 8 small twigs fell onto the grass near the boy's feet. The child watched the splinters of wood fall to the ground. His bottom lip quivered, and his eyes looked up at John again. Stubby legs began to back away. He took slow, tiny steps backwards until he was halfway across the yard and bumped into the other boy, who appeared to be just as startled. John let his gaze travel across his yard, allowing it to pause on each child. He didn't know why nor what he was going to do next. They looked like little statues. It appeared they were all waiting for him to do something. "No more sticks." His deep voice boomed louder than intended. Several birds flew out of the tall pines as the rumble lifted to the sky. Heads of several shapes and sizes nodded. Faint affirmations of, "Yes, sir," floated on the breeze. A final glance touched each of the boys before he turned, climbed the steps, and strolled across the porch. The hinges of the screen door gave a faint screech as he pulled the frame door wide. He stepped around it, and after sending a quick glance over his shoulder, twisted the brass knob of the glass panel door. The screen door slapped shut as he stepped into the front entranceway. He headed for the kitchen, ready to bellow for Howard and find out why there were children in his front yard. Movement in the front parlor caught his attention and stilled the words in his throat. Nervous, he took one slight step toward the room on his left and leaned around the wall. His feet jumped and almost caused him to stumble as he pulled his head back. There were more of them. In his parlor, and these ones were girls. They were sitting on the settee and upon the floor, playing with his checkerboard and poker cards. John turned and put his feet in the direction of the kitchen. Howard had a lot to explain. 2 steps later, a scream like he'd never heard before echoed through the house. "What the?" he exclaimed, and jolted for the staircase on the right. The sound had come from one of the upstairs bedrooms. Fortunately, he looked down as his big feet reached the stairs, because there on the bottom step sat another little creature. Long blonde hair hung around the cherub face, smiling up at him. Mouse, the large white tomcat that lived in the summer kitchen, sat on her lap and looked as if he enjoyed the position. The cat lowered his head as a miniature hand rubbed it between the ears. "Hi," the little girl greeted. His feet sidestepped this way and that as he tried not to step on the tiny person. "Hi," he repeated, grabbed the solid wood banister with one hand, and chose to step over her as another scream vibrated the house. His feet flew above her head and took the stairs 3 at a time. At the top landing, John glanced left and right. Which direction had it come from? A noise drifted past, muffled, like someone talking. It came from his right. His feet hurried to the first door down the hall. As his hand reached down to twist the knob, he paused for a moment to listen. Someone was definitely in the room, and it didn't sound like Howard.